What is up, nerd friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Bench. What do we have here? Fusion Mini 16. That's right, the all-new mini crawling system from Hobbywing. It is a fully FOC 2-in-1 combo, just like the regular Fusions, but just shrunk way, way down. Let's pop it open and take a look. There we have it, and the angels sing every time, right? Get this guy out of here. What's in the box? You got your instruction manual, zip tie, a little mounting tape, good stuff there. Get that all out of the way. And there we have, now you want to be careful when you're getting these guys out of here. They will get stuck. You do one at a time. That helps. Push those through. And there we have it. Look at how cute that little guy is. The Quicrun Fusion Mini 16. This is 3000 kV. It is set up for like 18 scale, 16 scale rock crawlers. It does have the 2.3 millimeter shaft. It is rated for 2S or 3S, and as we mentioned, it is a 3000 kV setup. What size is this guy? Lengthwise, it's always a big deal with these minis. 42 and some change, 42.2 millimeters on the length. What is it in standard? 1.66, you could call it 1.75 inches if you wanted to. Diameter, you're looking at about 24 millimeters right there. And see the shaft there, the 2.3, 2.2, depends on the calipers, but it's the standard 2.3 with a nice flat spot. And as far as the length goes, from the face of the motor out to the tip, you are looking at, call it 13 and some change, almost 14 millimeters right there. It does have multiple bolt patterns in the front for the various micro-sized vehicles that are out there. There are 2.5 millimeter screws as well as 3 millimeter screws. And you do see something unique here. The input harness has an extra wire, and that is for drag brake on the fly adjustability. That's right. With an auxiliary channel on your radio, you can actually do drag brake on the fly. So if you're going fast or slow, you can adjust the drag brake accordingly. Or let's say you get into a going downhill situation and you want to back the drag brake off to let it creep down. That extra wire allows you to do that. Or you can just not use that for normal radio situations if you just wanted to have a normal setup. But that is also the programming harness. So something that changed a little bit from the Fusion previous models, the plug was on the end, on the 10 scale guys, but that switch was going to be huge in here. So we switched it up a little bit and utilized the auxiliary wire as the programmer. So you plug this guy into the power side of your programmer and this guy into the tuning side. We're going to get to all that here in just a minute. So up next, we're going to cover basic calibration. If you're installing one of these systems in your vehicle before you go out and drive it, you want to do this basic calibration. It allows your new Fusion to learn the outputs of your radio system. So we're going to cover that right now. I put another microphone down here that'll help pick up the beeps, because this is a very, very faint beep. But with the radio turned on, the speed control is plugged into the throttle channel, which is number 2, and you got to check the orientation because that does matter. And I have it hooked up to a charged battery. There's a little button right here. I'm going to hold the button down, turn the switch on. This guy starts to beep. It's beeping. You let go. You tap the button to set the neutral. You go and hold full throttle. You tap the button again. Beeps twice. Hold it at full reverse and tap the button again. Beeps 3 times. And that is basic calibration. Once it gets done, it beeps a little bit, and then you get, you can't really see that, but it does work. So there you go. Basic calibration of the Fusion Mini 16. Up next, let's talk about tuning. So you got the system installed, you've done the calibration, now you want to change some settings. Maybe you're using a nickel metal hydride battery and you need to turn the LiPo protection off. This is going to be a couple of the ways to do that. Now, the speed control does not have any onboard programming. To make any of the setting changes, you're going to need either the LED program card or one of the new LCD program box, G3s we call it, the LCD program box Pro. It's got the screen and the scroll wheel. It does not work with the older boxes, does not work with the OTA, unfortunately. The Fusion Mini 16 uses the same settings as the Fusion Pro. So if you've got a box that has the sticker from the Fusion Pro on it, like I put mine on the back so I can keep using the old sticker, but the Fusion Pros come with these, and if not, inside your instruction manual, there is a setting chart. And that setting chart is right here in the top. That setting chart will translate what all the numbers mean. So if you're not sure that these stickers match, you can compare it here, and if it doesn't, you can reference your instruction manual chart to know what all the numbers are going to mean when you're using the tuner. And like I said, if you have lots of us have multiple RCs, so if you have a Fusion Pro, that same settings works there. It's the one with 1 through 13. So to make things easy, I'm actually going to use the LCD Program Box Pro because it'll show all the settings right on there. And the little caveat here is that we're going to use both of the wires. The speed control's normal receiver wire is going to connect into this power side. There's a negative and a positive on there. And the signal, or the auxiliary wire, is going to go to where the squiggly, or the S is for signal rather. Plug that guy in here. Like I said, battery pack is plugged in. I turn that guy on, and the magic starts to happen. Now, you might see a little flicker. That's recording nonsense from digital media. I don't know. It doesn't flicker like that when you're looking at it with your normal eye. So to get into parameters, you down press the wheel. The little race car goes across. And we get in and we can see our different modes. So if you wanted to use this in like a non-rock crawling application, you can change it to normal, forward, reverse, and brake mode if you want to, or you can run it with forward and reverse without the RPM matching. So we're going to leave that alone for now because we want to use the FOC features. That's the whole reason we got this. It's going to go into a rock crawler. LiPo cells, you can set the number of cells or you can let it to auto detect. If you're going to run multiple types of batteries, you can leave it on auto. And then you can adjust the voltage cutoff level, or you can turn it off. If you're going to use nickel metal hydride, you use this setting to go disabled. If you want to get more runtime out of your battery, you can set this to low. If you want to be safer and cut off sooner, you can set that to high. Overheat protection, you turn that on or off. Always leave it on just in case. If after you do calibration and the vehicle tires drive the wrong direction, like you give it throttle and it runs reverse, this is where you correct that. Motor rotation changes the forward direction. Some vehicles have backwards transmissions and they need a clockwise rotation, so you can change that here. BEC voltage allows you to change the power of the BEC. You get two settings, 6.0 or 7.2. Drag brake is the strength of the neutral brakes. In a rock crawler, it's how hard it wants to park on the hill. You can raise that or lower that. A lot of times you can lower it a little bit. It doesn't need to be as high as it is in default. And then your drag brake increase rate, this is one of my favorites. This is how fast the drag brake comes on. And if you do it on auto, it's kind of speed sensitive. The faster you're going, the slower it applies the drag brake. The slower you're going, the faster it applies the drag brake to help with that herky-jerky motion when you let off of the throttle. Max reverse force is exactly that. It's the power of the reverse. Not all of us are good at pushing reverse on our throttle, so that allows you to turn that down if you need to. Brake force is for when you're using this in normal mode, normal driving mode with the push brakes. It controls the strength of your overall push brakes. RPM decrease rate has to do with the FOC's deceleration characteristics. When you let off the throttle on the FOC stuff, it can match the throttle a little too much, and your trigger slows down faster than the truck does, and it'll make it slow down weird. So this allows you to fine-tune that for how you like it, how your driving style is. Start mode is your punch, how linear the throttle is. I typically raise this all the way up to number 9 so that I have the most linear throttle, but for some setups, if you're real tricky or twitchy on the throttle rather, or the battery packs are kind of weak, plugs are kind of weak, you can lower the start mode to help deal with the lack of power available. Neutral range is the dead zone between throttle and brakes. The wider that is, the more dead zone you're going to have in your trigger. So if you got a real twitchy neutral, maybe your drag brakes seem inconsistent, or in basher mode, the reverse seems inconsistent, you can open the neutral range there to help with that. And then, of course, you got your factory reset that you can reset all the parameters. Now, let's make a change so that we can show you exactly how that works. One of the ones I like to turn down is my drag brake. So I down press to get in there. I scroll along to see where I want to go. It goes all the way around. We're going to go down to number 3. I tap it to select it, and I have to hit save to actually put it into the speed control. Otherwise, it's not going to save the setting. Back out of there, and we can get back to the beginning, and we're good to go. When you're done, you just turn off the speed control and plug it back into the receiver as normal. So I wanted to demonstrate that auxiliary channel functionality. Right now, the motor has pretty much no drag brake. I have the auxiliary channel plugged into number 3 on my receiver, and I have it set to this switch right here. And right now, you can see that guy spins very freely. I can push this, and that goes to 50%. Now it doesn't spin as freely. You can see there's a lot more brake there. And if I go all the way up here, there's no spin. It's got 100% drag brake. So that's just a real quick example of how that auxiliary channel works and how it tunes the drag brake. Something really easy that you can set up, and if you don't have that, you don't have to use it either. There's no real setup or anything for that. There's no calibration that has to be done. It just allows you to use full range of any channel to turn that up or down. If you do it as a stepper, you could fine tune the drag brake, but this was just a quick way to show you how that all works. So we've been talking about how this is an FOC system, and maybe you don't know what that means. FOC is a field-orientated control. The sensors that work in these are different than regular sensors. It's a closed-loop system, so the speed control constantly knows the position of the rotor, even if it's not moving or if it's going at very low speeds. Normal Hall effect sensors need a little bit of movement for that to all happen. So this allows a lot more precise low-speed control. Along with that comes an extra step, the automatic motor pairing process that calibrates the sensors in the rotor and all that fun stuff. Basically, this is a process that's unique to FOC style sensor systems to allow the systems to learn each other's locations. You have to do it with the speed control unplugged from the receiver. You have to have a battery pack plugged in, and you do have to have the pinion disconnected from the spur gear. You can take the pinion gear off or remove the motor, whatever the case may be. It starts with the speed control turned off. You long press and hold the button, and there's going to be some beeping. Hold on, I'm going to press the button, turn it on. It takes about 3 seconds. It starts to beep. There's some very faint beeping. You keep holding it down until it stops beeping. Right there. You let go, and the automatic motor pairing process is going to start. It ticks the motor around real slowly to get orientation of everything, and then it beeps when it's done. And that's it. Automatic motor pairing. Pretty uneventful, but it allows the speed control to orientate itself with the sensors. All right, so let's run through the fun facts here. The speed control that is built into the end is a 30 to 80 amp rated speed control, in case you're wondering. This is designed for 16th to 18th scale size vehicles, rated for 2S to 3S LiPo. If you're using nickel metal hydrides, that's 6 or it says 9 cells, which is a very uncommon voltage, but it is an option. The BEC is a 4 amp switching regulator that is adjustable from 6 volts or 7.4 volts. Like we talked about in the beginning, it's a 24 millimeter diameter by a 42 millimeter length. 3000 kV rating using a 2.3 millimeter output shaft, and this is a 4-pole motor, in case you were wondering. It is made primarily for rock crawlers, but it will work in other applications. It does have those normal driving modes as well. Well, that is a first look at the all-new Quicrun Fusion Mini 16 3000 kV FOC 2-in-1 combo for your 16 to 18 scale vehicle. As we mentioned, it does work with the LED program card, also the LCD program box, so if you already have one of those, you're good to go, but that is not included. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to shoot us an email anytime. You can reach us directly through NorthAmerica@Hobbywing.com. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Hobbywing Official. You can find it on YouTube. We do a new episode every Tuesday on product reviews, unboxings, how-tos, adventures that we go on, all sorts of fun stuff. Check it out. Again, it's called Hobbywing Official on YouTube. And we also do a podcast. If you like free stuff, we give away free Hobbywing stuff each and every episode. All you have to do to find out how to enter to win is listen to an episode. You can look it up on your favorite podcast service. RC Stuff, powered by Hobbywing. And as always, folks, thanks for watching. We will see you all next time.